Reports are stating that Tottenham Hotspur and Crystal Palace are interested in Iceland international Haraldsson. Paul Gascoigne has come out and said the last time he asked for Spurs tickets, the club tried to charge him £400 per ticket. The Premier League broadcast selection process for December and January has now been completed, with a number of our fixtures moving to new dates and time slots. A full international roundup. Former Spurs striker Jermaine Defoe has been talking about Dominic Solanke, and he has backed him to do well at Tottenham and at England level. And an injury update on Bergvall, Richarlison, Son and Odegaard. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's get straight into it, and let's start by talking about some fixture changes for December and January. The Premier League broadcast selection process for December and January has now been completed, with a number of our fixtures moving to new dates and time slots. In changes made for TV coverage, our trip to Bournemouth will now take place on Thursday the 5th of December, 8:15 UK time kickoff, before we host Chelsea on Sunday the 8th of December, 4:30 PM kickoff. We will then visit Southampton in a rare Sunday evening kickoff, Sunday the 15th of December, 7 PM kickoff, before hosting in Liverpool on Sunday the 22nd of December, 4:30 PM kickoff. Our Boxing Day trip to Nottingham Forest remains in its original time slot of 3 PM on Thursday the 26th of December on Boxing Day, but has now been selected for live broadcast on Amazon Prime Video. January's TV selections mean our home games against Newcastle United will now kick off at the earlier time of 12:30 PM on Saturday the 4th of January, while our visits to Arsenal and Everton will now take place on Wednesday the 15th of January, 8 PM UK time kickoff, and Sunday the 19th of January, 2 PM kickoff, respectively. Our home match against Leicester City has now been moved to Sunday the 26th of January, kickoff time at 2 PM, owing to our participation in the UEFA Europa League on the preceding Thursday. This match has not been selected for live TV coverage. Now let's talk about Tottenham Hotspur star Brennan Johnson. Of course, he has scored 6 goals in his last 6 games for Tottenham Hotspur. Brennan Johnson has joined an exclusive group of only 7 players to score in 6 consecutive competitive games for the club since the inception of league football in 1908. Opening his run with the dramatic late winner to send us through in the Carabao Cup at Coventry City on the 18th of September, Brennan Johnson hasn't stopped scoring since, with goals in 3 Premier League games on the spin and in both Europa League victories to take his tally to 6 in all competitions. The 23-year-old is making goal scoring look easy on his remarkable run, but our history books tell us that this feat is far from straightforward, with only 6 players, just one of whom is in our top 5 all-time goal scorers, before him netting 6 in 6 in all competitions in Tottenham's history. So the 6 other players who have scored 6 goals in 6 competitive games. In 1919-1920 season, Bert Bliss scored 6 in 6. Johnny Morrison did it for Tottenham during the 1935-1936 season. Steve Archibald did it in the 1983-84 season. Garth Crooks in the 1984-85 season. Teddy Sheringham in the 95-96 season. And most recently, Harry Kane did it twice, actually, in the 2015-16 season and the 2018-2019 season. Now, one other notable consecutive goal-scoring records at Tottenham Hotspur is, of course, the legend Jimmy Greaves. He scored in a club record 9 consecutive league matches during the 1961-1962 season. So let's have a look at a number of Tottenham Hotspur players on international duty. Now, on Monday evening, Ben Davies picked up his 90th cap as he skippered Wales to a 1-0 win over Montenegro in the UEFA Nations League. Captaining his nation for the 13th time in his career, Wales continued their strong form with Ben as their skipper. They haven't lost in their last 10 games when the defender has been wearing the armband. Vicario made his competitive debut and Destiny Udogie provided an assist as Italy ran out 4-1 winners over Israel on Monday night. Also on Monday, Mickey van der Ven kept his place in the Netherlands starting 11, but they suffered a 1-0 defeat to Germany in the UEFA Nations League. Dejan Kulusevski was once again creating goals as he skippered Sweden to another win in the UEFA Nations League as they defeated Estonia 3-0. Former Tottenham Hotspur striker Jermaine Defoe has been talking about current striker Dominic Solanke. He said, "I like him. He's nicked a couple of goals now, which is good. He has got off to a slow start, but after 3 games, people were sort of questioning the signing. But I think that is just part and parcel of football, really. Every player has had it. If you're not playing well, then people are going to come for you. If you're playing well, then everyone loves you." Jermaine Defoe then went on to say, "I did say that he would come good. He will score goals because of the way that Tottenham play. They create a lot of chances, so it's just up to him now to take those chances. I think for him, he just needs to focus on playing well and improving. He's got back into the England squad, which is good." Jermaine Defoe then went on to say, "You've got Harry Kane and Ollie Watkins, who will always be involved for England. I think for him, just focus on goals, focus on playing well and improving, and keep himself in and around the England squad." A report has just been published by Football Transfers and they are stating that Tottenham Hotspur and Crystal Palace to battle for Lille youngster. Lille's Hakon Anar Haraldsson has caught the attention of Crystal Palace and Tottenham. The Football Transfers have stated that Ange Postecoglou and Oliver Glasner have sent scouts to watch the young attacking midfielder in France with the belief that he is similar to French star Griezmann due to their similar build and technical prowess. Football Transfers have also stated, like the Frenchman, Haraldsson is good at linking up play, intelligent movement and ability to both score and assist goals, as well as making a difference in the final third. The report also states with Tottenham and Crystal Palace both looking to the future, Haraldsson is seen as a potential replacement for key players. Crystal Palace are planning for life without Eze should he leave, while Spurs could view Haraldsson as a successor to Heung-min Son, whose contract expires in 2025. Haraldsson, known for his exceptional ball control and creativity, has quickly risen through the ranks. At just 21, he has already made 19 appearances for Iceland's national team, scoring 3 goals. Tottenham Hotspur and England legend Paul Gascoigne has been talking about the Europa League game between Rangers and Spurs in December. He was asked the question by Football 365 whether he would be attending the game in the Europa League Ibrox. He said, "If they are at home, definitely. It's difficult, that one. I was so close to Rangers. At Rangers, I'm welcomed in every way. But at Tottenham, I asked for a couple of tickets once and they said that'll be £400 each, please." Gazza then went on to say, "I was like, wow, for all that I did for this club, you know, when I left Tottenham, I actually got the money when I signed for Lazio, and I put in my contract when I went to Lazio that Tottenham had the first option to sign me back, and they didn't, so I was a little bit upset at that, considering the teams I could have went to." The Evening Standard have provided an injury update on Lucas Bergvall, Richarlison, Wilson Odobert and captain Heung-min Son. On Lucas Bergvall, they have stated, as confirmed in a statement released by the Swedish national team, Bergvall returned to Spurs earlier than expected to be assessed ahead of the game against West Ham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday. Lucas Bergvall has suffered a minor injury and will not be available for the game against Estonia in the Nations League, the statement read. It then went on to say, ahead of the match, it is clear that Lucas Bergvall will not be available for the game. He has left to manage his rehabilitation in a club environment. Potential return date for Lucas Bergvall, the Evening Standard have stated unknown at this stage, pending further assessment. On Richarlison, they have stated the Brazilian has been absent since suffering a calf problem during a training session prior to Tottenham's Premier League clash away at Newcastle last month. The potential return date for Richarlison, they have stated October. They have also stated this weekend's London derby will probably come too soon. Giving an update on Tottenham Hotspur captain Heung-min Son. They have stated here the Spurs captain has missed the last 3 across all competitions, having been forced off with a hamstring issue in the 3-0 Europa League win over Qarabag. Son, as expected, was not selected by South Korea for their World Cup qualifying doubleheader against Jordan and Iraq. Potential return date, 19th of October against West Ham. Wilson Odobert, they have stated that Tottenham's summer signing was forced off early during the Carabao Cup third round win over Coventry after suffering a hamstring issue. Potential return date, October. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about all of the fixture changes for December and January. I'm going to start with the positives here because it is great the fact that we do know as fans these fixtures have changed a couple of months in advance. So, a lot of people travel from far and wide. A lot of people travel from different countries. So it's great for planning purposes. But some of them, Bournemouth away on a Thursday evening. Bournemouth away on a Thursday evening, 8:15 p.m. kickoff. That is not any good for most of us that do actually have a job and work and need to get up for the next day. Southampton away, 7 p.m. away on a Sunday evening. Not ideal. But as I say, the positives are that we can plan ahead, and it will probably mean a day off for a lot of people, or going into work extremely tired on that Friday after the Thursday night game. Now, reports are stating that Spurs are interested in Iceland international Haraldsson. I've got to admit, I don't know too much about him. But of course, Spurs are always on the lookout for top talent around Europe. And I've no doubt they are trying to identify top talent again, for future transfer windows. And as I've said many, many times on this channel, particularly since Postecoglou has come in the door, we have gone out, identified some real top talent who, of course, we've gone out and signed as well. And long may that continue. But I do feel, like I've said many, many times on this channel as well, that we do need players for now as well. And hopefully Andrew will be backed, continue to be backed in future transfer windows. Hopefully January will be a busy one. And of course the summer will be a busy one, because of course we must keep progressing and going in the right direction. Gaza on the tickets, £400 a ticket. I believe that there should be some sort of system in place that if ever, some of our ex-players, especially top legends, which Gaza is, let's be honest and frank about it, he's a top legend at our club, and he's a top legend at most clubs where he's played. An unbelievable character, an unbelievable footballer, and that does upset me a little bit, because I think that, not only Spurs, but, football clubs in general should look after their former players. So if they ever do want to sit and come and watch a game, they should be welcomed with open arms. And I've no doubt that Gaza would love to be a halftime guest and talking about Spurs and going out on the pitch with someone like Paul Coyett. He'd absolutely love it and enjoy it. And, of course, he would really get the fans very, very excited as well. An international roundup, of course, it looks like things are going well. Of course, Lucas Bergvall has come back. Didn't play in the Estonia game for Sweden. So let's see what happens there with the assessment. I've no doubt that we'll hear more from Ange Postecoglou in his press conference later on in the week. But overall, on the international setup and international games so far involving Tottenham Hotspur players, a lot of the players seem to be doing well, and most importantly, staying fit and well and returning to Tottenham Hotspur, returning to Hotspur Way this week, fit and well. Because as I've mentioned before on the last episode a couple of days ago, that Ange Postecoglou, I don't think has ever had a fully fit squad during his time at Spurs. Of course, the Evening Standard have given an injury update on Bergvall, Richarlison, Son and Odobert. Let's certainly hope that Heung-min Son is back for the West Ham game on Saturday. Odobert and Richarlison, let's wait to hear what happens on those. Of course, it was only a couple of weeks ago Ange Postecoglou kept saying to the journalists in the press conferences, stop asking me about Richarlison, I'll update you. So whether we get an update this week, let's wait and see. Jermaine Defoe back in Dominic Solanke to do well at Tottenham and England. I fully agree with Defoe. I think that Solanke is such a hard-working player, had a great season for Bournemouth last year. Of course, it was very, very unfortunate that he played in that game against Leicester, got their injury, spent a couple of games out, but since he's been back, he's been banging in the goals. Yes, there have been tap-ins, but so what? You need that player to be in the position. Half the goals that strikers score in their career, you've got to be in the right place, and he certainly does that. And I feel like we've been missing a player like that for a very long time certainly since Harry Kane left Tottenham Hotspur. But I do back Solanke to do well at Spurs, and I do back him to do well with England. It was a shame that he got very limited minutes in those 2 games against Greece and no minutes against Finland, which was a shame. Lee Carsley, of course, managing England, but it now looks like, at the time of recording, Fabrizio Romano has given the here we go on Thomas Tuchel being the next England manager. What an interesting choice that is. I didn't actually think that I would ever see a German manage England, actually. I didn't think that England would go down that route. I know there was a lot of question marks at the time when we went down the foreign manager route, when Sven-Göran Eriksson was appointed as England manager all those years ago. And of course, we've had Capello as well. I am quite traditional on that fact. I always think that an English person or a former English manager, a former English player who has worn the shirt should perhaps manage England. But I think that perhaps England, the FA, are going down the route of they want a win-now manager. They want someone who has been there, done it, got the T-shirt, and let's wait and see. Let's hope that Thomas Tuchel can lift a trophy for England, because I say quite, often about Spurs being overdue trophies. We're overdue trophies with England as well, and I support Spurs and England, so it's quite harsh sometimes that in the last 10 years I've been to 5 cup finals, 3 with Spurs and 2 with England, and we've lost every single one of them, so it's hard supporting both of them. So hopefully, I wish Thomas Tuchel all the best, and hopefully he can lift a trophy with England, but of course I'd love to see Ange Postecoglou and this Spurs squad lift a trophy this season. Let's wait and see how we progress in these cup competitions, Europa League, League Cup. The League Cup, we'll be talking about that in the next couple of weeks, because of course Spurs face City at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the Carabao Cup. That is a must win, in my opinion. We've got to go strong in that game. And of course the FA Cup will be coming up in January, so games are coming thick and fast. And when I read through all of those fixtures in December and January for broadcast selection, you realise how busy it is going to be for these players, and of course the fans travelling all over the place to watch our fantastic football club, Tottenham Hotspur. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.